Hillel Fuld.
Angie Geffen. What's up?
Tech enthusiast, startup mentor, and prolific blogger for many publications. We're talking about TechCrunch, we're talking about VentureBeat, we're talking about massive online presence, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter. How do you sleep at night? Or do you?
I should pay you for PR. You do a very good job there.
That's insane. You're all over the place.
Sleep.
And it's not only about that. People are also following you because they want to hear what you have to say.
Try to do good. Sleep. After 120 years, I'll sleep. Now I just try to do good stuff. I work way too many hours a day. I do wear a lot of different hats. It's the blogging, it's a startup founder myself, a startup advisor, father to 5 kids. So I sleep 3 to 4 hours a night, depending on the night.
Wow, so generous to yourself.
Yeah. No, I mean, people say to me, "What, your kids wake up?" No one wakes me up. Like, I wake up because, let me just give an introduction. Us marketers ruin everything, right? There are words out there that we keep using, and people get sick of them, like value, right? I try to do good things, and I try to, I'm very passionate about it, genuinely passionate. There's another word I'm very passionate about, but I'm genuinely passionate about technology. So I wake up in the morning because I want to know what's going on in the world of tech. Nobody wakes me up, but I feel like, how could I miss the fear of missing out? FOMO, right?
FOMO.
So
how'd you get started with all this?
That's an interesting story, actually. My first job out of college, 10, 12 years ago, I'm sitting in my cubicle at Converse, the company that invented voicemail, not Converse, the sneakers, but with an M. I was a technical writer. For those that don't know, that's the guys who write the documents that you get with a gadget that no one ever reads, like the user guides. So I wrote those.
Got it.
Most boring job on the planet. But I'm sitting at my desk one day and I'm like, what am I doing here writing these dry user guides? It's like, I love tech, I love writing, I'm gonna start writing. Now, back then, there were blogs, but it wasn't a thing like today that everyone has a blog.
Right.
And so I didn't even call it a blog. I didn't know what a blog was. I called it a tech diary, just writing,
Yeah.
I had my thoughts on mobile, my thoughts on tech, and I'm writing. I didn't really care who read or if anyone read, but every day, come to work, every day, make my coffee and write.
Such dedication.
Again, passion, not fake passion, but real passion.
Yeah.
And so really quickly started building up a pretty large organic audience. As a technical writer, you need to take things that are complex and simplify them.
True.
Which is what a blogger does at the end of the day.
I guess so, yeah.
So I would actually send my blog post to my mom and ask her if she understood them. If she didn't, I'd be like, then I'm not doing my job well. I really try to dumb it down. My writing in general on social and blogging is always, anybody could read it and understand it. And so, for years and years and years, I wasn't monetizing that blog at all. Everyone was like, why do you put ads on? I'm like, with all due respect to ad tech, that's not my end game.
Yeah.
I didn't know what my end game was, but I knew it wasn't that. And just kept it up and built, some really great relationships and scaled that up. And then I realized that startups started reaching out and saying, you're seeking my advice on different things that I write in my articles. And so kind of understood that through content, you can really establish your brand, your name as a thought leader, as an authority, all these buzzwords that marketers ruin again. But
so this is how you created the
yes.
brand Hillel Fuld.
Well, I don't know if there's a brand Hillel Fuld, but that's how I created my online presence, is through content. The content, people talk about social media, right, all this buzz, but if you're on Twitter or Facebook or Snapchat, whatever, just to be there.
Yeah.
You're just there making noise, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
But if you're there providing valuable content, unique valuable content, you don't have to be some hotshot blogger, but if you have a unique voice and you can use those platforms to amplify that voice, that's when you win. And
So Hillel, as a content expert per se, then what kind of tips
just
would
stop
you
with
give?
the names. I'm not an expert.
You're not
Calling me names, okay?
You can see it from the East
I'm a
Coast.
content guy. Okay, yeah, go on.
Okay, so as a content guy,
Yes.
Tips, tricks of the trade.
So this is going to be very non-PC, and I think that most marketers, I'm sure you're going to disagree with me, most marketers would disagree with what I'm about to say, but in my humble opinion, the way the internet works, just the way it's engineered and the way it's wired, is that with content, quantity is more important than quality. What do I mean by that? I don't mean to write garbage.
Right.
If you have typos or inaccuracies, then you're wasting your time. But if you ask me, is it better to write a 5,000 word essay once a month, or 500 word articles every single day that are good, but they're not, Pulitzer winning? I would absolutely tell any startup or marketer that's looking to build a brand, consistency is much, much more important than writing, Pulitzer winning, writing. Again, once every, whatever it is, 2 weeks, you should write this deep kind of thought piece, but every day, basic stuff. It doesn't have to be, brilliant stuff, but you can do interviews, you can do, lists. People like to consume, and so, yeah, I think quantity is maybe even more important than quality, but the important thing is consistency. Like, if you write an article on your company blog and then I come in and I read it, and it's great. So I come in the next day and there's nothing there. You lost me. If I come back the next day and there's something there and it's great again, and I come back the next day and there's something great, it's like, that's it, you got me, I bookmarked, I'm there. And so consistency is super, super important. And unfortunately, we all know, again, too many people that start initiatives, whether it's content or other things, and then a week, 2 weeks in, they're like, I don't see enough traffic. What do you think you're gonna see in 2 weeks? I've had so many situations where I would mentor a startup and I'd say, blogging and content, and they'd call me back and they'd be like, it didn't work. I'm like, we met 3 days ago. What are you talking about, And even some that say 6 months later it didn't work, and I said, well, what'd you do? And they said, we wrote an article a month about ourselves. I'm like, well, of course we didn't build, So I think consistency is super important, and also figuring out what niche you want to own. So if you're selling Barbie dolls, do you want to own Barbie dolls, or do you want to expand your audience and own dolls? Or do you want to expand all the way and, toys? Probably not, because then you're competing with the whole world. So I would always say, kind of look at what you're selling, look at your product, look at your specific niche, and expand your hands a little bit. Not all the way left field, but a little bit, and try to own that. And another thing that's a very big misconception is that there's no one winner takes all. There's not like one blog on the internet that writes about whatever. You could be another blog that, there's enough people on the internet reading content that you can write about technology and build up a really large audience. When I started blogging, I was competing with TechCrunch and with all the big guys. I didn't beat them by any means. They have 50 times more traffic than I do, but I have my, lot of readers.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't, this isn't a one winner takes all situation.
And there's something hot in the news going on. Do you know what it is?
Oh, she's going there.
Do you know what it is?
Are you going peak Pokemon? Is that where that's
What is going on? 4 days. What?
Okay, so I actually literally just snapped a half an hour ago. I will not download this app. I just refused. But then again, I said the same thing about Snapchat a year ago. So, there's I can explain it to you from a technological perspective, that augmented reality and real life engagement. There's all kinds of big buzzwords we can throw out there. At the end of the day, I don't think, look at Angry Birds, right? With all due respect to Angry Birds, Rovi are friends of mine. Peter Vesterbach is the CMO, he's a good friend. And amazing company. Obviously, they built a huge franchise over the Angry Birds, but their numbers, went up and then went down. And so, of course, there are all these crazes, and Pokemon Go's numbers are ridiculous. The numbers are off the charts. I've never seen anything like it. But I don't think that, 3 months from now, the hype is going to remain at that level. There'll still be millions and probably hundreds of millions of users. To explain to you why it is, I would need to download the app, which I did not do. I refuse to do. But it's a cool thing. I mean, my understanding is that you're like, AR. You're walking around and finding Pokemons on the street, which is kind of cool because, it's the whole real life, digital life brand, bridging that gap, which is a cool concept. I remember the olden days, LAR, which is, I guess, probably the pioneer of augmented reality, mobile augmented reality. You would literally point your phone and it would show you in that direction pizza stores, like layered on top of reality.
Oh.
Yeah, Layer is a really cool company. And there's obviously Magic Leap, which is, they don't call themselves augmented reality, it's mixed reality, but this is a company that raised $1.5 billion, $1 billion with a B, from Google, Amazon, and Alibaba. They're valued at $4.5 billion. Are you ready for this? Hold on. They haven't launched. Nobody even knows what their product is. I sat with the general manager a few weeks ago, nobody, he knows, but nobody knows what their product is.
So where is this coming from?
Because whoever invested obviously saw a demo. If you go to YouTube and you Google, or if you YouTube the name of their company, then magically you'll see demos that will blow your mind. You'll see people sitting in an audience and a full-size whale jumping out of them, and it looks like it's jumping out of them. It's crazy because it's this whole, again, augmented virtual reality. I'll tell you honestly, I don't think a lot of hype. I don't know if you've tried the Oculus. It's mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing, right? But I don't think we've yet figured out really the use case for this stuff. I don't think in 3 years from now we're going to be using virtual headsets that look like garbage to go on a roller coaster. Medical is one use case. There are different things, and so this Pokemon Go is kind of taking this hype about augmented reality and bringing it down to the real mainstream. So I get why it's. I don't think anybody could predict this level of hype, but I get why it's hyped. But I think let's give it a week or two, give it a month or two, and let it die down, because I don't think it's going to sustain itself. But I could be wrong. It's not the first time I'll be wrong.
Okay. Thanks for that. I have a few speed questions.
I can't believe we talked about Pokemon in a business interview.
How could I not? It's so
current
rare.
affairs.
It is current affair. Yeah. Let's get to know a little bit of Hillel beyond the magic of content in the world of vlogging. What's the best steak you've ever experienced?
Ooh, wow. That's a good question. So I'm a big steak guy, as you know.
Yes.
I'd have to say it was the 22-ounce steak at Reserve Cut, because I'm strictly kosher.
Yes.
Which some might say is a big, you can't really enjoy or experience steak. Although, again, I've never had non-kosher steaks. I couldn't tell you, but I've met with some pretty high-profile people out there that do eat non-kosher, and they've said that these steaks in Tel Aviv and Mitos and other places are pretty good, so
Okay.
I'm okay with that. But I would say reserve cut in New York, it's like $110 steak or something. Ridiculous. It's like a cow on your plate, basically. Yeah, that and La Marais is fantastic in New York. And in Israel, Tel Aviv, I'm a big fan of Mitos and Meat and Wine.
Okay, so you've got your favorite places.
I got a whole list of them. I can go on for hours.
All right, let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
What tech device are you most addicted to?
Oh, that would be my iPhone. Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, listen, I live on my mobile phone. That's when I gotta do real like long documents, whatever, I'll use my MacBook. But all press releases, Excel sheets, all my social, all my content, blogging on my phone.
What?
Yeah.
All on your phone?
Yeah.
All right, so you're obviously under 40.
I use Microsoft. I mean, it's not. I don't. How many Excels do I do? I don't do that many, but yeah, I live on my iPhone 6s Plus. And today I'm getting a phone from Huawei, a P9. It's like the top smartphone in the market pretty much right now. Up there with like the Galaxy S7 Edge. And listen, I've been an iPhone guy. I dabbled in Android, dabbled in BlackBerry back in the olden days. I keep coming back to my iPhone for various reasons, but there's no question that Android has come a long, long way, and the specs of the phones are ridiculous. Like this P9 is unbelievable specs. We'll see. I'm gonna try that and see if I can switch from iPhone. For now, iPhone 6s Plus is my go-to. Like I live on it. Completely live on it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And your latest Snapchat was about?
Interviewing your CEO.
Ooh.
Joseph.
Okay.
No, I snapped. I have my Snapchat routine. I do my thing. I have my morning coffee on Snapchat, and I'd say if you follow me on Snapchat, you see a mixture of tech, music, cars, a little bit of family, and Israel. A lot of Israel. I've gotten, I don't push Israel.
I noticed that you're exposing, the real Israel, not the
100%.
camels and the tents that people think.
Yeah, but I think, we know this as marketers, that good marketing is subtlety, is telling a story without shoving down people's throats.
Right.
And so I try to, give people a window into the real Israel without saying Israel's the most amazing place in the world. I sometimes say that too, but I've gotten hundreds of messages, and I'm not exaggerating, from just people around the world in random places saying, before I followed you on Snapchat, I thought of Israel as this like third world country that commits who knows what kind of crimes, crazy, the press. And they said, like, now that I've seen the real Israel, all I want to do is come visit. And that's because, again, I don't shove it down their throat, but I show them what there is to see in this country and what this country has to offer.
Visually, well, Snapchat allows you to do that as well.
100%. And so that's what I kind of do on Snapchat, a lot of tech, some food. But I have, again, I think we talked about before, consistency. And so on Snapchat, I'm very consistent about my content. Like, I'll do, in the morning on Facebook and Twitter, I do my little morning picture of the view outside my house, because I leave my house and it's a beautiful picture. And so why not spread a positive message? A lot of people say to me, like, what's the strategy there? I'm like, there's no strategy. I leave my house, I see a beautiful view, I want to spread positivity. And so on Snapchat, I have my routine. I do like my morning coffee, then I kind of get into the car and do a little, some good music, some Beatles, whatever it is. And usually I kind of take people that follow me on Snapchat to my meetings and have my routine. People like it.
Good.
I don't know, people like consistency. It's a thing. Who knew?
Yeah, that's true. Last question for today.
Yes.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, jeez. Okay, so I mean, that's actually an interesting question, because I talk about this a lot. I think that, I know you expected me to say like a fireman or something, so no. No, but here's the thing, right? So this is an amazing ecosystem. The Israeli tech ecosystem is completely off the charts. Quantity and quality. We're literally, again, another word that we've ruined, disrupting all different verticals of technology, whether it's agriculture and water and medical and consumer and enterprise, everything. But I do kind of, I guess, envision where we would be in a couple of years from now. I think that if we look at Silicon Valley, while, last week Eric Schmidt said that Israel's the most exciting place on earth for technology, there are some things we need to catch up on. And I like to help startups. That's what keeps me up at night. It's not the upside, it's not the money, it's helping startups, helping this ecosystem scale. And so, I sit with startups almost on a daily basis, over lunch, usually over steak, and help them with, who their competitors are, go to market, sharpening their pitch, business, development, sometimes actual introduction to investors. But I think that there's two main gaps, and I'm being very diplomatic right now.
Yes.
There are two main gaps in the investor landscape in Israel. Let's talk about the easier one that is less controversial, is the money, right? So, there are countless angels that are investing $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 in startups, and there are countless VCs that are investing $5-10 million in startups. there are probably 1,000 startups in Israel right now at any given moment that need $500,000, and there's probably 2 or 3 investors in Israel, maybe 5, that are even meeting that need. Like to write a $500,000 check, you can get a syndicate of angels or a very early stage VC, which exists, but they make very, very limited investments. There are very few investment bodies in Israel that invest $500,000 or $750. That's number one. And number two, and again, I'm walking on eggshells here, the investors in Israel are amazing people. Tango and Magma and Carmel and Aleph, amazing, amazing investors. Let me just get that out of the way. Having said that, Andreessen Horowitz, I'm giving a very extreme example because they're like number one. When they write a check, that's the beginning of the process, right? Then they help these companies really scale. And some of these investors in Israel do too. Having said that, I don't think that there's enough value add in the investment landscape in Israel.
Yeah.
And again, I want to be very clear. I love the investors in Israel, and I'm not, God forbid, saying that they don't do anything besides write checks. That's not what I'm saying. But I think that there is no Andreessen Horowitz of Israel. There are many that understand the value of that, and there are many that are trying to do that, but I don't think that they have access to the things that, or the companies or the people that Andreessen Horowitz does, and I don't think I do either. Having said that, one day I really want to help these companies that I meet with on a regular basis, including everything that I'm doing right now, which is what they call value add.
Yeah.
Again, business development, all that stuff, and actually write a check. So how do I write a check? I don't have a trust fund. And so, join a VC, start a VC, probably not so realistic for me. Though no one's writing me a $50 million check until I start investing.
Right.
Chicken and egg.
Yes.
So, if you ask me what my dream is, what I want to be when I grow up, it's probably to find someone outside of Israel, whether it's Asia or America, that understands that the ecosystem in Israel is unparalleled. It is completely bonkers and insane.
Yeah.
And Hillel Fuld has more access to deal flow than anyone in Israel, almost, and can help these companies and can run the due diligence, and they want to get in, someone on the ground to do this stuff. So kind of, one day, right now I'm focused very strongly on Zcast, which is my company, and kind of democratizing podcasts. But again, what I want to do when I grow up is to actually take this ecosystem to a whole different level and actually start writing checks and being a real value add, and be on the side of the entrepreneur, working for the entrepreneur, not the other way around, not them working for me.
Nice, very motivating.
My dream.
Fantastic.
One day.
Well, thank you, Hillel. I appreciate your time.
Keep doing what you're doing. Amazing vibe in this place and amazing work you do.
Thank you. Live from CodeFuel.